Welcome to another episode of the Echoes of Eir. Today we're heading straight into Irish myth, focusing on Angus Og.
Angus Og, yeah.
Angus the Young, also known as McCann o Macog.
Which means young son, yeah.
Young son, exactly.
Okay.
God of youth, love, beauty, and poetry. You've given us some great sources for this one, so let's
unravel it.
let's unravel the magic and the stories of Angus.
It's amazing, isn't it, how his stories kind of blend the divine with the human. Even from his birth, you see these themes of, like, forbidden love, trickery, and a touch of magic, really shaping his destiny.
Yeah, his origin story is definitely not your average, godly conception.
No, not at all. We're talking about the Dagda leader of the Tuatha De Danann,
Right.
and Boann, the goddess associated with the river Boyne. But here's the thing, Boann was married to Elkmar.
Oh, right. Yes, so it's a love triangle.
It is a complicated one.
Yeah. Okay, so the Dagda, clearly smitten, uses his magic to stretch one day into 9 months, allowing Boann to give birth to Angus seemingly overnight. That's some serious dedication.
Yeah.
But also kind of sneaky. Was it just about love, or was there something more?
I think concealing the affair was important. You have to remember, Elkmar was a powerful figure.
Right.
So the Dagda's actions were to protect both Boann and Angus from, well, Elkmar's wrath.
Yeah.
It shows how even for gods, actions have consequences.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be clever about navigating those complexities.
It's true, yeah. Like, it sets the tone for Angus's character as well.
Yes.
Like, even from day one, he's not afraid to kind of bend the rules a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of bending the rules, how does this all lead to him getting Brún na Bóinne?
Brún na Bóinne. It's a place steeped in magic and power. It's considered one of the most sacred sites in Ireland, even today. So you can see why Angus wanted it.
Absolutely, yeah. But how does he actually manage to get it? Does he use, like, brute force?
No, it's much more cunning than that. So Angus, now a young man, he teams up with his father, the Dagda.
Right.
They approach Elkmar, and they use this really clever play on words. They ask to stay at Brún na Bóinne for a day and a night.
Okay.
And in ancient Irish, that phrase could be interpreted as either a single day or eternity.
Oh. Okay, so it's like a loophole.
Exactly, a classic loophole. And Elkmar, not realizing the double meaning, he agrees. And Angus and the Dagda seize their opportunity, and they claim Brún na Bóinne as their own. It shows you how intelligent Angus was,
Yeah.
even back then, using language to get what he wanted.
It's fascinating. It really shows the power of language and interpretation, even in these ancient myths.
Absolutely.
It's really cool. But moving on to a different kind of power, the power of love. We have to talk about Eithne. She's this incredibly beautiful mortal woman, and somehow she gets entangled with Angus Aindy, his brother Midir.
Oh, she does.
Tell me about this love triangle, and how does Angus become her protector?
So Eithne was so beautiful, both Angus and Midir were totally smitten with her.
Okay.
In the end, it was Midir who won her hand in marriage.
Mhm.
But their happiness was short-lived. Midir had a first wife, Fumna, and she was insanely jealous.
Right.
Jealousy is a powerful force, even among the gods. She used her magic to transform Eithne into a fly.
What?
Yeah, and then cast her adrift on the wind.
Oh, wow. To be turned into a fly out of spite.
It's pretty harsh.
Yeah, it's awful. What does Angus do? He doesn't just stand by and watch, does he?
No, he doesn't. Angus finds out about Eithne's situation, and he takes her under his wing, so to speak. He cares for her in this fragile form, protecting her from, well, everything.
Wow.
But unfortunately, fate had other plans. Eithne ends up being swallowed by the wife of a warrior,
Oh, no.
and incredibly is later reborn as their child.
Oh, wow.
It's quite a journey, isn't it?
That's a roller coaster of events.
Yeah.
So Angus sees all of this, the love, the betrayal, the transformation, even the rebirth, and doesn't do anything to Fuamna for what she did.
Oh, Angus acts. He's furious about what happened to Eithne.
Yeah.
He confronts Fuamnach and he gets his revenge. This isn't just a display of his power, it also shows how fiercely loyal he is.
Right.
And how protective he is.
Yeah.
He's not just a smooth talker. You know, if you threaten someone he cares about,
You're going to regret it.
you'll regret it.
Yeah, okay. It's interesting. It adds another layer to his character. You can see why Angus Og is such a popular figure in Irish myth.
Definitely.
He's not just this one-dimensional guy.
Yeah.
He's cunning, he's romantic, he's powerful, and he can be vengeful.
He can.
And speaking of romantic,
You want to talk about the dream of Angus?
yes, the dream of Angus. Such a famous story. Tell me, how does a dream lead Angus to the love of his life?
Okay, so picture this. Angus is asleep, dreaming. And in his dream, he sees this vision. The most beautiful woman he's ever seen. Her name is Caer Ibormith.
Caer Ibormith.
He wakes up and he's completely obsessed. But he can't find her anywhere. So this leads him on a year-long quest.
Wow, a year.
A year, driven by this dream, this longing for love.
It's like a dream girl, literally.
Literally a dream girl.
A year is a long time to search for someone. Who helps him on this quest?
Oh, it becomes a bit of a family affair. His parents, the Dagda and Boan, they try to offer guidance, support.
Right.
But he also enlists the help of Bod Dearg, the king of the sea of Munster.
Hold on, CD is in fairies.
That's right, the fairies. Supernatural beings in Irish mythology, often associated with mounds and hills.
Okay.
Bob Dearg is one of their kings.
Okay, wow. So we've got family drama, divine intervention, and now fairies. Where does this quest lead Angus? Does he actually find Caer Ibormith?
He does. After a year of searching, he finds her at Loch Beldrakon in Crut Cleo. But of course, there's a catch. She's there, but with 150 other maidens, all bound together by these silver chains. And there's a powerful enchantment that's preventing him from taking her away.
Oh, so close. Classic love story problem.
It is.
She's under this enchantment with all those other maidens. It's such a fantastical situation. But also kind of sad. So how does Angus deal with this? He always seems to find a way, especially when it comes to love.
Well, remember, this is the god who outsmarted his way into owning Brunabóin. So Angus discovers that this enchantment, it transforms Caer Ibormith and the others into swans.
Swans.
For 1 year.
Wow.
Then back into human form the next. So it's this cyclical spell tying them to the lake, to this avian form.
Okay, swans. That's a whole new element to the story. It seems like a pretty strong spell. Does he try to break it? Or does he have a different approach?
He's a bit more creative. Instead of directly fighting the magic, he waits patiently until Caer Ibormith and the others transform into swans.
Okay.
He goes to the lake and he calls out to her.
How does he even know which swan is her?
He recognizes her by a silver chain and a golden collar she wears, even in swan form.
Really? He can tell her apart from all the other swans.
It shows how strong their connection is, don't you think?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
He recognizes her instantly, declares his love, asks her to come with him.
So what does she do? Does she, like, fly away?
Uh-huh.
Or is she swept off her feathery feet?
It's more complicated. You see, Caer Ibormith had also been dreaming of Angus, so there's this mutual longing, this feeling that they're meant to be.
Oh, wow.
She agrees to be with him, but only if they can stay as swans together.
So they choose to remain as swans. That's not really a happy ending, is it?
Not a conventional one, no. But it's a striking image, isn't it?
Yeah.
They transform into swans, fly away together, and as they fly, their linked silver chains make this beautiful, haunting music.
Oh, wow.
It's bittersweet, highlighting the power of love, the sacrifices we make for it.
Yeah, it really makes you think about love and commitment in different forms. It's a really powerful story. Okay, but before we jump ahead, there's something else I wanted to ask about.
Go on.
How does Angus end up with Brunabóin all to himself? We know that's where he ends up, but how does that happen?
All right, so imagine this. Angus, he's back from his epic quest for Caer Ibormith.
Yeah.
Probably exhausted, but still head over heels in love.
Okay.
He finds out that his father, the Dagda, has divided his lands amongst his sons.
Right.
And Angus, left out.
Oh, come on. After all that.
But never underestimate Angus. He's a master strategist, remember?
Yeah.
He goes to the Dagda, and he uses that same clever wordplay.
No way. He uses the same trick again on his own father.
He does. Asks to stay at Brunabóin for a day and a night.
That's amazing.
The Dagda, bound by his word, grants the request. And just like that, Angus is the sole inhabitant of Brunabóin.
Pretty brilliant, right? That's incredible. It just goes to show Angus is not someone you want to underestimate,
Yeah.
whether it's matters of love or real estate. But Angus's adventures don't end there, right? You mentioned something about him being a protector.
Oh, absolutely. Angus shows his protective nature on many occasions. For instance, when his foster father, Midir, is killed, Angus avenges his death by killing his own stepfather, Elkmar.
Wait, Elkmar. The one who was tricked out of Bruna Boyne.
That's right.
Wow, talk about family drama.
It never ends with these myths, does it?
I guess not.
But Angus, he's not acting out of some petty revenge.
Right.
He's upholding justice, protecting those he loves, even if it means confronting figures from his past. And this protective instinct, it extends beyond his immediate family, too.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, there's the story of his brother, Sir Mate. A bard falsely accuses Sir Mate of something pretty serious, sleeping with the wife of Lugh.
Lugh, the god of the sun and craftsmanship. That's a bold accusation.
And it is. Lugh was incredibly powerful, so naturally Angus steps in to defend his brother's honor.
Of course, what does he do?
He confronts the bard and proves Sir Mate is innocent,
Okay.
showing that Angus is not only loyal to family, but also committed to truth and justice, not afraid to challenge authority when it's necessary.
Wow, we're seeing so many sides to Angus. It's not just about love or trickery.
Right.
There's this real depth to him. Responsibility, protectiveness.
Exactly. And maybe the most touching example of that is his relationship with his foster son, Diarmuid Ua Divne.
Diarmuid Ua Divne. That name sounds familiar. Wasn't he part of that famous love triangle with the Fianna? Those legendary warriors?
You're thinking of the same story. Diarmuid falls for Grain, who just happens to be promised to Finn McCool, leader of the Fianna.
Oh, right. Forbidden romance. What happens?
Well, it causes this big chase across Ireland. The Fianna are pursuing Diarmuid relentlessly.
Okay. And Angus gets involved how?
Angus, being the best foster father ever, he shields Diarmuid from the Fianna, provides him with shelter, gives him weapons to defend himself, protecting him against impossible odds.
That's amazing. He's willing to go to great lengths for the people he cares about.
He is. And even when Diarmuid meets a tragic end, Angus brings his body back to Bruna Boyne.
Oh, wow.
And the myths tell us he would breathe life back into Diarmuid whenever he wanted to talk to him.
That's so beautiful, but also incredibly sad. It shows how strong their bond was.
Yeah.
And you can feel Angus's grief, knowing he couldn't save Diarmuid in the end.
You're right, that's a really good point. Even though he's a god, Angus isn't immune to loss and sadness. It makes him more interesting, don't you think? More human?
It definitely does. It makes his stories more relatable. It's not all, sunshine and rainbows, even for a god.
Exactly. Angus Oakes more than just these myths and legends. He represents these universal ideas. Love, loss, loyalty, the need for connection. He shows us that even the gods face challenges and feel a whole range of emotions.
Okay, so we've seen Angus as a romantic, a clever strategist, now a protector. Anything else about him that we should explore before moving on?
Right. And for this final part, let's think about his legacy.
Okay.
What makes him such a big deal in Irish mythology? Why are we still talking about him, centuries later?
Yeah, as we've been discussing him, I keep thinking, he's not just a god of love or beauty.
No, he's not.
He's got so many more dimensions. Like, he represents all these different parts of what it means to be human.
I think that's why his stories are still so powerful.
Yeah.
He's not just some distant god. He's relatable.
He is.
He faces challenges, he feels joy, he feels sadness.
Right.
He wants connection, meaning just like us.
And he's willing to break the rules, to fight for what he believes in, to make sacrifices for love. It's like he embodies all the complicated parts of human nature.
Yes, he does. The good and the bad.
Exactly.
He's not perfect. That's what makes him so interesting.
Right.
He messes up sometimes. He loses people. He can be vengeful.
Yeah.
But he's also incredibly loyal, compassionate, capable of deep love.
And don't forget, he's got that playful side, almost mischievous.
Yes.
Like when he gets Bruna Boyne with that wordplay, it's genius. Even when things are tough, he never loses his sense of humor or his strategic mind.
Absolutely. And speaking of Bruna Boyne,
Yeah.
even after the Dagda dies and is buried there, Angus remains as the sole occupant.
That's true.
Really emphasizes his connection to that place.
It does. A place that represents both his earthly and spiritual power.
Exactly.
No wonder people are still fascinated by Bruna Boyne.
It's a magical place. And one thing that struck me, as we talked about all his roles, the lover, the trickster, the protector, we haven't really talked about him as a god of poetry.
Oh, that's true. I guess we got so caught up in the other stories, I kind of forgot about that.
It happens. So how does that connection to poetry show up in the myths?
Yeah, good question. Are there specific poems about him or by him?
Well, we don't have any surviving poems that are directly attributed to Angus.
Okay.
But you can see his eloquence, his skill with language throughout the stories.
Right.
Think about how he persuades Caer Ibormith to be with him,
Hmm.
or how he outsmarts Elkmar with that clever wordplay.
Yeah.
It's all a testament to his poetic nature, his way of using words almost like, well, spells.
That's an interesting way to put it. Like, his poetry isn't just writing verses.
No.
It's about using language to change reality.
Exactly. To make things happen, to touch people's hearts.
And in a way, isn't that what myths do?
Yes.
They use language to tell stories that connect us to something bigger than ourselves, to explore those universal truths and emotions.
That's it. And Angus, as a god of poetry, embodies that power.
He does. So what's the takeaway here? What can Angus Og teach us about ourselves, about love, about life?
I think one big lesson is life's a journey, with good times and bad,
Right.
victories and defeats.
Yeah.
He shows us that even gods face challenges.
Mhm.
They experience the full spectrum of emotions.
He reminds us that it's okay to be vulnerable,
Yes.
to mess up, to grieve,
Yeah.
to fight for what we believe in.
Absolutely. His stories are about the power of love, the importance of loyalty, and that strength we all have inside to overcome challenges.
Beautifully said. Angus Og's tales remind us that even when the world feels chaotic, there's always room for magic, for love, for courage.
That's the beauty of myth, isn't it? It gives us hope, inspiration.
It does. Well, we hope this deep dive has given you a new perspective on Angus Og.
We hope so.
What resonates with you about him? What lessons do you take away from his stories? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.